on Coinbase.
The future of your business is here. With Wix, you get advanced AI.
Now, welcome on in to another episode of the Blue Chip Crypto channel. We're going to talk about why the dollar is actually not good to hold the dollar. It's actually good to hold Bitcoin, something that always raises in value. Let's go.
The first time I bought Bitcoin, it was $50 worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase in 2015. And 2015 was also the first time that I typed Bitcoin into the YouTube search bar and started watching Bitcoin videos. 10 years later, I've fully transformed my view on just Bitcoin as an investment. And I fundamentally believe now that holding Bitcoin is better than holding dollars. When I bought my first $50,
I agree with him all the way. This is why I say that. Because over the years, Bitcoin has went up, right? Annually. And the dollar, to me, it keeps on depreciating. Have you guys noticed? The same amount of money in dollars you had 10 years ago isn't worth the same amount of money in today's world. So why not bank with something that's actually gaining interest, gaining gains, right? That allows you to have a higher purchasing power. That to me totally makes sense. And I'm gonna give credit when credit's due. I'm gonna leave the source of this right in the chat. All right, let's go.
I watched it double and then sold off the Bitcoin units and let the money ride, right? Like let the house money ride. And that was the beginning of the Bitcoin stack, which makes total sense. Like that is the way when you first start stacking Bitcoin, you're primarily looking at it through its USD exchange rate because USD is the primary currency that we're used to and growing up and everything is tied to. And something that happens is that over the years, you kind of build up and you either stay in that camp and it's like strictly just an investment and you look at it the same way as any other ticker symbol. And the goal of these ticker symbols is to go up in USD value and then like exit back for USD. Or you get sidetracked into this kind of side world where it's like the never sell world, never like stack Bitcoin and never sell, stack Bitcoin and never sell. That doesn't like fully excite me anymore either because
Now, I think you got to look at it from an ulterior perspective, right? You have to stack it in a way. You have to stack it in a way that see, I like the long-term play. I like the long play, not the short haul. Now, if you want to trade Bitcoin, that's a totally different thing because you can jump in and out of the market and make way more money than actually holding it, right? But overall, let's just look at a 10-year, 20-year lifespan, right? I think Bitcoin will be worth at least $1 million. Michael Saylor said, hey, it may be worth $13 million. Each one that you don't have, you're missing $13 million. So I could say that it can go up tremendously because if it's the new digital money or the new way of doing transactions, and after they print out X amount or after you claim X amount on the chain and there's no more left, then according to just simple logic or simple economics, right? Supply and demand, if it's no more supply and the demand is still high, the number can be whatever number you want it to be. But let's continue.
Welcome to Can You Gifted?
That's just really hard to wrap your head around. I think it's way better to have more of like a personal finance approach now of just realizing that like money has received an upgrade. Like money has received a software upgrade. And so the other thing, the problem with the never sell is the realizing gains or realizing profits or like it leveling up your life is so far in some like vague, distant future that it's hard to stay motivated with that or like kind of encourage other family members or like other people in your life to become motivated by that. Like, yes, there's a small segment of people that kind of believe in that vague, distant future or whatever, but something that I've like recently stumbled across and become more interested in is kind of like realizing it now, like through creative personal finance and through like using the exchanges that are available today. Is it possible to just swap USD out of your life and use Bitcoin as your main money? There's friction there, but we're within striking distance of that.
And that's one thing that I like about technology, right? The problem that he just proposed to me, it made sense. Yes, you may not be able to trade it at a faster rate because we all know Bitcoin is slow as hell, right? They have other things like ADA that would allow these transactions to be faster because what Bitcoin actually needs is a bridge. It needs a bridge that's lightning swift, fast. I'm talking about fast, right? And you have these other technologies that they plan on working together with Bitcoin, right? With just different technologies that allow it to be faster. For example, XRP. That's another technology that you could trade in a millisecond, right? So they have solutions on the way for that. And also think about it like this. Ethereum, for example. Ethereum has a high gas fee, right? Which means that the transaction fee is an arm and a leg. It might be worth more than the actual value of the coin. But you have something called Polygon that actually solves that. And I believe in investing in solutions. So Polygon to me is considered another blue chip crypto, right? Not financial advice, but invest in solutions. Invest in solutions because with technology, and one thing I do like about software, unlike hardware, look at the US dollar as hardware, right? Once it's out there, right? It's not much you can do. You can stack it, you can build it, but it's not much you can do. It's not so versatile and or flexible, right? But with digital money, you're allowed to have software upgrades. And for each problem that you notice that you have, it's going to be bugs that you could fix based on software, which means that you can do so many different things with it. Right. And if it presents a problem, then we know that that's where you have to solve. That's exactly what you have to solve for that issue right there. So those issues are actually being ironed out as we speak. And this is just the beginning of the wave, right? Bitcoin haven't even been out. Let's just say it's 2024. It's almost 2025. It's been out, for about 10 years. 10 years. So this will be its 10-year anniversary. So I give it to about 15, 17 years. Bitcoin will be perfect because the technology will arrive. And actually, these other companies, what they're doing is they're actually doing open source, which means that it allows the future to build on these things, right? Because there's no way one person going to figure these things out. A group of people. Technology changes, right? They may figure things out after the creator or the team of creators have passed away. So it's good to leave these things as open source so they can forever be built on and forever be upgraded. All right, let's go.
This concept of straight up holding Bitcoin is better than holding dollars. It's like blackjack. Like when you first start playing blackjack, it's kind of just this like gut feeling, like hit or stay, like that kind of thing. But no, there's a mathematical correct answer. Like that's what's called blackjack basic strategy. There's a mathematical correct answer on what you should do on every play. That's kind of how Bitcoin versus the dollar is. Like there's a mathematical correct answer that the odds of Bitcoin improving your purchasing power on any given day or over any given time frame compared with holding USD is in Bitcoin's favor. Like the odds are in Bitcoin's favor. Yes. And so people say that like, oh, using Bitcoin as your base money, well then like that's like timing the market. And I would actually argue the opposite, which is a what is it? It's like a small position right now, like a minority position. This is a minority opinion that timing the market is actually dollar cost averaging. Like dollar cost averaging is actually timing the market, whereas going fully no USD is the most like logical thing to do. Now, the tools are not there. Like the tools are not there exactly today to do that. But that's what I think like seeing.
That's what the future may bring. So I actually still support his message. Bitcoin to me will be 10 times better than the US dollars that you carry around every day. And there's so many risk factors with carrying around all that money. Like right now, Bitcoin is worth, let's just say 95,000 to 100,000. All right. It already broke its all-time high, which is 73,000. So if it already broke its all-time high, which is 73,000, and it's projected to be worth millions, right? Why won't you keep most of your money in Bitcoin? To me, that's the only technology that's going to allow you to grow and actually beat inflation and everything else. It's the only technology. So it totally makes sense. Do we have all the answers now? No. But you have to see it, and you have to have vision. You have to have some form of futuristic, or you have to watch Blue Chip Crypto 3, and then you will know, these guys have been talking about this for a while. It seemed like it's here to stay. You have BlackRock. You have everyone else that's joining forces. They just created an ETF for it, which means that it's part of the stock market. Once it's part of the stock market and you have institutional money flowing in, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to make sure everything is in their favor. So Bitcoin is considered gold, Ethereum is considered silver, XRP is considered bronze. But I have XRP actually, as far as dominance, beating both Ethereum and Bitcoin. But nonetheless, that's the big three. Let's continue. What do you think the big three is? Leave the comments down below. I really want to know.
Around the corner is like a lot of people want to see around the corner when it comes to like other tokens or just like other like exact ways to like time the top of the bull run or whatever. But I think seeing around the corner is like really fine tailored, like easy to understand Bitcoin personal finance advice to where when 5% savings accounts go away, and when the ETFs dampen the volatility.
But to me, what is 5%? Absolutely nothing. Think about it like this, right? You have 5%. The bank give you 5%, right? 5% on your money. Say, for instance, you had $100,000, 5%, right? That would be $5,000. So, but you got to think about capital gains. You got to think about when you spend the money. You got to think about inflation. Do y'all really think 5% on your money is enough? You're still underwater. The magic number to beat is above 17% because you got to beat the dollar devaluing at the same time as well. So not only inflation, you have to beat debasement. That's a whole nother topic that we have to talk about. So 17, 18%, you might be trading water. You might, you can come up and breathe and then go back down under. Who wants to live like that? If Bitcoin gives you an average of 29% a year, why wouldn't you go with 29% and still beat inflation and still have another 10, 15% on gains? Makes sense to me. So some people might call you radical or a bit extreme. Oh, he putting all his money into one thing. Okay, watch what's going to happen. Say first they laugh, and then they create doubt, and then they want to sue you, and then they clown you, and then they join. And once they join, you become a genius, right? So I'm here to tell you this is before it's time. This is actually the way to go, not financial advice. Just my advice to myself. And if you're on board, then you're on board, but you're taking your own risk at the same time. Saying it all to say, it's better than anything that I've ever seen created in mankind. Let's continue. It's God's money for real, but let's continue. Infinite source
of Bitcoin. There's going to be this flip where Bitcoin effectively just like replaces money market funds. Like right now, everyone knows that their checking account balance is trash. Checking account balance is trash. It's the lowest account that you have. And all it is a pass-through account for your bills, okay? So everyone is shoveling money into money markets, shoveling money into Bitcoin, shoveling money into altcoins, shoveling money into the S&P 500, into the NASDAQ, into real estate, interior square footage, because no one wants to hold USD. USD inside a checking account does not keep pace with the purchasing power that you want it to keep pace with. That's what Bitcoin can solve. Like Bitcoin fixes this. Bitcoin can fix that. Like because of the nature of everything, we've been so accustomed to like this Bitcoin is savings, Bitcoin is digital gold. Like that's kind of like whether you're coming from like no matter what angle you're coming from, like other crypto investors say that like Bitcoin is just like digital gold and like whatever boring. And then like even other people inside Bitcoin just kind of like really pound like just Gresham's law and some of these just like really deep like Austrian economic stuffs about the adoption of money and things like that. I think it's way different. Like I think it's just.
So you think you know Wix, but do you really?
Bitcoin will be worth more Bitcoin will be worth more than all of these things.
First up,
Bitcoin
we've
will
got
be
Shake
worth more
Video
than all
Masks.
these things. Let's go.
Bitcoin is a software upgrade for money. The main place you hold money, not an investment, is in your checking account. And so I think the next seeing around the corner is Bitcoin becomes like a day-to-day checking currency for early adopters way sooner than we think it's going to. Like, I don't think that's in a vague, distant future. That's in a striking distance future. That's in a striking distance future that
Agreed.
inside our lifetime, ADP will run Bitcoin, checking accounts will run Bitcoin, companies' treasuries, like company treasuries, will continue to grow and grow and grow. And there will be this point of where it's like, why are we even doing, like, why do we still have this other dollar unit? Like, why are we losing? Because there's friction, there's slippage. The whole thesis, my problem with the thesis of like save Bitcoin, send dollars is the slippage. Like, I don't want to pay for the slippage of holding USD even for a little bit, even for a few days in between bills or whatever. Okay. And because extrapolate it like this, there's 29 days a month when your bills aren't due. Okay. 29 days a month, because your bill is due once a month. So there's 29 days a month where labor is being temporarily stored, waiting for that bill to hit. Times that by 12 months in a year, that's like 330, 340 days a year that we have dead labor, dead time and energy and labor, which is our most scarce resource, sitting in a checking account, not building wealth for your family, And that's a software problem.
Which to me, that totally makes sense. But imagine if you have something that's actually gaining and or building, or people are using and or minding, right? You're actually getting gains damn near every day. Will you even need a bank? I don't think you would need a bank at that point. And probably that's why the bank don't want these things to happen, because you can actually have these things on your own ledger, right? Which that's what the bank does. Keep your money, flip your money, all these other things. You can have it on your own ledger. And after you have it on your own ledger, then you become the bank overnight. Just saying.
And that's a user habit problem that we all are forced to use these checking accounts, this account and routing number, this ACH network, because that's a primary way that electronic money moves in America. Okay. And so people throw like taxes or other frictions like in there. It still beats it. Like, having a capital gain tax means you made money. It means you increased your financial position. So even above that fee, even above that hurdle rate, holding Bitcoin is better than holding dollars. And that math is going to continue to click for more and more people. I've been thinking about this currency thing for a long time. And I used to think that, businesses are going to be incentivized to adopt the new, like, point of sale technology in order to demand Bitcoin from their customers and kind of begin the transition that way of like, if you really want this good or service, like, we only take Bitcoin. Like, kind of that scene in Star Wars where he's like negotiating for the pod racer and the guy goes, sorry, we don't take Republic credits out here. We need real money. Like, I was envisioning that of like business owners choosing to swap over to that. And you might still see that a little bit at the edges, but I think that's now like a pretty big lift. Like, I don't think most business owners are kind of like ready to think about that. But I do think that individuals that are already incentivized, like the fact that you're here, the fact that you're already here 8 minutes into a YouTube video about Bitcoin means you're like pretty deep down, like thinking about owning a lot of it, or you already own a lot of it. And so you going the like last mile on like squeezing USD out of your life is like really close. Like, it's really close. You're like most likely of all the people.
I'm already there. You no longer need it. It's like you're banking on the wrong thing when you should be banking on the technology that you own, that you can own. And it's the first time in history that you're allowed to do these things. So why wouldn't you own Bitcoin instead of the dollar? Think about it. You even have jobs nowadays that's offering in your IRA or your retirement account, you could switch over and actually have that as part of your portfolio. Why won't you put all of it in that portfolio? I guarantee you it will outpace everything that they ever taught you. This is new money. This is God money. The money is here, right? Money is changing. And I like folks, follow the money, right? Because the money don't lie. People do. Follow the money, you will understand the truth. Follow the technology, you will understand the truth. Bitcoin is now the truth, because first it was frowned upon. It was rejected. People didn't believe it. It cost $10. Now the same thing that cost $10 and a fraction of a penny is now worth $95,000 to $100,000 on year to date, right? In the near future to date, right? Let's just say by 2035, 2040, right? Global trend. Mostly things will be technologically advanced. That means that, hey, guess what? If you don't have this in your portfolio, your family creating generational wealth, it won't happen. Think about it. If you don't own the money, own the block, own the technology, right? What's the point? You'll be always working for somebody else. So at the same time, I see this as the future, and this is actually the way to go. Owning it will create generational wealth. Literally just owning it. I never said you had to create a new business. I never say that you had to be super successful in life. I'm just saying it's as simple as owning Bitcoin. That's all I'm saying. Most of the people are not going to see it, but let them who have eyes see clearly. Let them who have eyes see clearly that it's the future is already here. We're living in the present, but we're presenting the future at the same time. Let's go. Let's continue.
In the world to do that, not the random business owner kind of like receiving a door knock and like upgrading their software or whatever. And so now I think about the problem from the reverse side of if you squeeze USD fully out of your life and hold Bitcoin, and then you're interacting back merchants or like counterparties that require USD as their currency, sweet, swapping into it at the exact moment, so there's no slippage. Like that's the thing, is that the whole dual currency like world where people think that will be the like default is that's so hard for me to wrap my head around, because I don't know why you would tolerate the slippage. Like in other countries, right? Like you try to swap into the currency that the store needs or whatever, like at the moment as fast as possible, or you take your paycheck immediately and try to convert it into what your home needs. And I think that's like, to me, that's eliminating the slippage. Like you don't sit on the soft currency at all, like at all. And so software is going to automate the ability to hold the main money and swap into it immediately there. And when that reaches a critical mass, then the business owner, because they're most likely going to be pushed to adopt that in their own life, then both parties come together and are like, why are we even using this intermediary? Especially if the software for transferring Bitcoin back and forth continues to improve. So
you don't need the intermediary. You don't need the middleman. And to me, that's what Bitcoin solved. That's what these technologies solve. This is what ADA solved. This is what XRP solved. This is what Algorand solved. This is what XDC solved. This is what XLM solved. These are why they made these technologies, because you no longer need the middleman. You don't need a converter. It should be automatically converted based on the technology that you have. So I'm all the way there. Green light for me. Green light for me. Let's go.
It's fine to like point out different friction points like all along the way, but the concept of the individual being incentivized to push USD out of their life before a business owner is incentivized to kind of like grant Bitcoin as like a payment option among all their other payment options is something that has like clicked in my head recently over the past few months.
And I totally agree with that. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you really think about this. What do you think is better? I'm here to say that holding Bitcoin is 10 times better than holding the US dollar or any currency. I don't care where you at in this world. Yin, yang, bing, that, bada, bang. Pounds, whatever you whatever currency you're operating in, if it's not Bitcoin, that's not giving you growth, that's not making sure that you have generational wealth, that's making sure that you're beating inflation and money debasing, then what are we doing? The technology is here. It's literally right in front of us. You know what they say, the answer is right under your nose, and the answer to me is Bitcoin. The answer to me is technology. This is the answer. Study technology and study civilization. You will find that civilization rose when technology came about. It's that simple. So if the things are coming about now as we speak, why aren't you paying attention to it? Why aren't you adapting faster than others? You don't want them to tell you when it's time to adapt, because by the time it's time to get in, it's too late. Remember, it's X amount. It's not an infinite amount of Bitcoin. It's X amount. Don't forget that part. On that note, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification. This is Blue Chip Crypto 3. I just wanted to bring you guys this to make you think more and more about it. This is an educational platform, so we're going to go over the blue chip cryptos that I believe that matters in this world, and or the technologies that matters in this world that's going to make this world a better place. Peace, and I love all you guys. Let's go.